want to talk about it.
All right. Welcome back to the Shid podcast. This is episode 5. Today we have Daxter and Ethan in the same room, so they're just doing it on the same Discord. So, yeah. This week we all watched the same movie. Well, Daxter had already seen it, but he was the one who told us to watch it. It's called Against the Ice. It was a fucking good-ass movie. Fantastic movie. It? I really liked it.
That's great. Because as soon as I saw it, I was looking through adventure movies, like, just because I thought of how cool it would be and how hard it is to survive in, like, an Arctic wasteland, and, like, how amazing stories we have from that. And I really enjoyed seeing this movie, and it's based on a true story, and there's a book written about it, written back in, like the 1930s, and the main character, he, like the author is the guy who went on the it was the captain of the ship. Yeah. It was cool to think about how it's a true story, and like them fighting, the polar bear, and like one by one you get attached to all of these dogs and they just like die in brutal ways.
Fucking Bjorn, man. Fuck.
Yeah, Bjorn fell off a cliff.
Yeah. That fucking sucked. Like, I cried.
What was your favorite part, Eli?
I liked when he woke up and he said something about the girl in the picture, like Ivor said something about the girl in the picture, like chose him last night, and then the captain just like went crazy and tried to kill him for a minute.
You fucked my girl in your dream.
That's fucked my girl in your dream. I'm fucking killing you. Like.
And then because of that, they store the fucking the gun in the
other
wrong
and then there's a fucking bear. Like,
where's? I don't know. In the shed, you might have tried to kill me. What did you think of even sitting?
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty okay movie. I mean, it was a little bit slow, but it is an adventure type of movie, and I thought that was just really interesting, and like the types of expeditions that like they would go ahead and do way back then, and like those types of things are like, I don't really have a whole lot to say on it, just due to the fact that there's not a whole lot to say about that, but
I am surprised that it took so long for another ship to even like pass by. Like, nobody went by there for fucking 2 years. Like, seriously?
Well, you have to say that because it's northern Greenland. The Americas haven't really been fully like explored yet. There hasn't been a clear route from Greenland to northern Canada yet. So
it's really cool. I really like the part when they, like, halfway through the movie, they find what they're looking for, and it's just like this little cliche of rocks, and it has this little note of paper saying, "Hey, this place isn't an island. We're leaving." Yeah. And he's just, oh my god, we're done. We can go home, Captain. They found Scoops.
And then they have to go back like 400 fucking miles.
Oh yeah, and they end up fucking storing this incredible document that they need inside of another rock cache, and then they walk back to the boat, find out that the boat's crashed, and then this captain has this fucking stupid ass idea where he has this dream of a bear attacking and like stealing these important documents. So he urges Ivor to fucking walk the 400 miles back to the thing, and probably like a storm knocked it over or some shit, and he's just super paranoid. But by the time they walk the 400 miles back to the cabin that they have, there's a note on the table saying, "Hey, we were looking for these guys, they weren't here." Like, fuck, maybe we should have left a note.
Yeah. And the captain was all pissed off and broke the fucking sled. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't need a sled anymore. They're out of dogs.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, they're house. So, oh well, I mean, that's still cool. That's very cool. You know what?
I want to know, what did they do with the last dog? Because they didn't, like, show the last dog dying. They just showed him, like, destroying the sled, and then they just were carrying the shit on their backs, and there was no dog. And I was like, what the fuck?
Well, the dog was dead right next to him.
Yeah, the dog had dead eyes and wasn't moving.
Oh, I didn't see.
Like-
I thought he was just sleeping. My dumbass.
And the dog starved to death because they weren't feeding it enough.
Yeah.
I killed it because
Like, the captain just snapped its neck.
for food.
I don't know. I don't think they ate the dog.
Mm.
Who knows?
Possibly. I mean, they did try to eat dog liver once.
Yeah. That was funny. Like, what's that thing where you put silver on poison and it changes color, right? Like, I think so.
Well, it's supposed to turn, like, green or something, right? It turns brown?
Oh.
Well, it's not green.
I was on
Your mic's cut out.
a movie.
Hello?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's
I need to. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, it's working now.
I was just watching this one movie called The Terminal, and it has Tom Hanks, and like it's a movie from like 2008,
2004.
2000, about Tom Hanks. He gotten off of an airplane. He's from a different country, and while he was on the plane, his country got bombed and doesn't exist anymore. So when he lands in New York City from his plane, he has nowhere to go because they won't let him outside of the airport because an airport is technically international space. So he's not allowed to go into America because his country doesn't exist and he doesn't have proper documents. And he's not allowed to send him back home because his country doesn't exist anymore. It just got blown off the fucking map. This is actually a true story that I found out that is way more interesting. Talk, Ethan.
Yeah, no, the true story is about a dude who named himself Sir Alfred, and he basically went and lived in a corner of the airport for like 18 years because they didn't have anywhere else to put him.
Oh, this is what you were talking about, Dexter. Okay.
Yeah, he became a tourist attraction. And
well, if
so
I saw a motherfucker living in the corner of an airport, I'd be like, yo, what's up? And just like get a picture with him. Like, yep, tourist.
that's good. So if America wasn't recognized as a country anymore, you could fly out to somewhere else and have no papers, and it just be homeless in the airport, and they would have to take you. A bureaucratic loop.
It's gonna be tough to get rid of all of America, though. That's like,
Yeah,
like
but
nuclear war level type shit.
yeah, but that's what it would take for you to be able to live in an airport rent-free legally. So,
Yeah.
or you could renounce your citizenship, go to a different country that's on the verge of collapse, wait for it to collapse, and whenever it does, go and fly back to America and live in there.
This guy spent 18 years in an airport and fucking wasn't allowed to leave because he would go to jail, and wasn't allowed to go back home because he was exiled from Iran because he was doing riots or whatever. No, he was protesting. He was protesting stuff in Iran and got exiled from it and disowned from his family. So he doesn't have a proper like ID or anything, and all of his shit got stolen. So he spent 18 years in this airport until the way he finally got out is people like interviewed him, and he signed off the rights to his story, and people made them a bunch of movies like The Terminal, and gave him like $30,000, and he finally fucking left in like 2006.
Damn.
Isn't that like a crazy story?
Yeah.
Like
That's wild.
you have no ID. How the fuck do you live in an airport? You know, like you gotta sleep on a couch. Like in the movie, he was like putting carts together for quarters so we can get like Big Macs and shit. Like living off of McDonald's for 18 years. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
sounds awful.
Could not imagine. Really could not imagine. It would really suck. Oh my god. Man. But that's nice. So what's been going on in your life, Eli?
Had an interview today. I went all right. I think they're gonna call me on Monday and tell me if I got the job or not. Fucking got my ears pierced, so now I just need to start gauging them. I got a taper kit from fucking Spencer's for like 30 goddamn bucks.
What size are you aiming for?
I want to get at least 00.
You want to go bigger than 00?
At least 00, maybe bigger. I don't know.
All the cool gauges are the biggest ones.
Yeah.
But beyond a certain point, I mean, my gauges feel like they're just a part of me now, so I don't really mind. Like they don't ever come out. I wouldn't mind going bigger than a 00, but I'm kind of happy with it. Have you guys ever heard of a story called All Tomorrows?
All tomorrows? What's that?
It's this thing called skeptical zoology, where you just imagine creatures that aren't real. But like, I learned about this thing called skeptical zoology a lot because I really like this story. The idea with skeptical zoology is you imagine how a creature would have evolved differently under different circumstances, or how creatures may evolve differently in the future. And it's really cool for science because it allows artists to predict what animals may look like in the future, or what animals could look like given the possibilities with scientific circumstances, you know? Like you try to envision a real creature that of course isn't real.
Like a platypus.
So there's this artist named C.M. Cosman who made this story called All Tomorrows. And it's about these people in the far future on Earth. They colonize Mars. Mm-hmm. And they live there, and eventually the people who live on Mars evolve differently, and they look different from humans, so they call them Martians. So they're related, right? Mm-hmm. And eventually humans and Martians, they argue, and they go to war, like spatial interplanetary war, and the Earth kind of gets destroyed. So Mars is the dominant planet for this really long time until there's this alien race called the Q that find Earth and Mars. And they have this power to genetically manipulate any living thing. So what they did is they took the human DNA, an entire race, and changed and manipulated them into horrifying, grotesque, and funny ways just to humor them, and then strewn the entire human DNA race over the entire galaxy. So that way, they would never find each other, and they would be separate, and humans would forever just evolve and never look the same ever again.
What the fuck? Okay.
So there's from here on a whole series of different stories of different used to be they're like evolved versions of humans that are like look completely different and act completely different. Like there's this one species that looks like a whole like herd of deer, and they have horns, but they conscious thought and they can remember being human, but they don't have thumbs, and they're just like deer, so they can't do anything and manipulate the world around them, so they're just depressed, and they sing all day, and they ended up going extinct.
So they were human at one point, and then they got turned into...
They had human DNA.
Okay, were they good? Like,
They were their own interplanetary alien race. They were good, they were bad, they were, you know...
Interesting.
Human. It's like you don't know your past at all. It's a really interesting story. Or like there was this one where they tortured the most fearsome humans, the ones who retaliated the most, and they turned them into these like bottom feeding like bricks that have full conscious like intelligent, but they don't have arms. They're a square fucking body with eyes and a mouth, and they just lick shit off the ground. And eventually they all form and condense into this mass and evolve into this like giant, like multicellular but giant like brick machine alien thing that can do stuff. There was this whole species of human genetically manipulate the fish to become like and weapons, and eventually they did fucking they could communicate with other human, with other DNA, but eventually all of these different species all find each communicating, like they all evolve and get stronger and change in a bunch of different ways. A lot of them go extinct, and they communicate with each other, find out that they all have a common past. And like you got to think about these fish people were communicating with like a radio sent from a living thing, because they can genetically they're like ocean builders.
Huh. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, you lost me. That brick, those bricks that lick shit off the ground. Like, I turn people into bricks that lick shit off the ground. So like, oh. And they go ahead and form a massive person. Could you imagine a life just that meaningless? I'd just kill myself. It'd be so horrible.
There was one species of alien that was like a raptor that was bred, that was made, that it was just like living this blissful tiny, it was like a chihuahua for a human. It was happy, it was stupid, it ran around with 50 other versions of it, like hundreds of other versions of it on this like Eden-like planet where they can eat as much as they want, and they couldn't give birth to another kid until they have sex for like 32 years or some shit.
Yeah, they have that. They have to have sex constantly straight
until for them to have a fucking kid. So like, and they live for, it's crazy. But
so do you think that like the female velociraptors would be like disappointed if
those versions evolve into like bigger versions that act really human? They have like wear clothes and like have hairstyles, and they dance around and have parties and shit, and they're always super horny.
Amazing. So you'd have velociraptors that would just adopt.
Yeah, and CM Coleman also did this story called All Yesterdays, where he takes animals from today, and then he draws them what they would look like if a scientist saw the fossils of that animal thousands of years from now. And a lot of these animals, like a cat or like a chicken or something, looks like this terrible, awful fucking monster because nobody could see the fur or the feathers, or they could understand how much fat this animal had, so they would grossly underestimate it and make it look like this scary monster because the skeleton of a cat looks like a fucking chupacabra. Like, a scientist in the future would know if this animal had hair or not. That's why we don't know if dinosaurs had feathers or anything.
That's true.
It's crazy.
That is very true. Do you think that dinosaurs would be covered in feathers or something? Like, what if dinosaurs were covered in fur?
I mean, they are the closest related to dinosaurs. The dinosaurs are the closest related to birds.
Yes, but still though, like feathers are kind of like hair for chickens.
I suppose so. I don't want.
But like, I imagine that like when the dinosaurs were around, there were some dinosaurs that weren't like so like close to chickens. That some would be further out and closer to like a hippo or something, like a rhino, and would have like more leathery skin. But, well, I guess that's kind of how like traditional dinosaurs are thought of to be like, like leathery or scaly skin.
They're thought to look like monsters, like Jurassic Park.
Yeah. But they're just big chickens. we have no idea what they look like, but we have the power to go ahead and clone one, and we don't.
Oh yeah, we could clone a woolly mammoth.
Yeah, I don't know why we don't.
Because it's probably dangerous. It can expose us to diseases from thousands of years ago.
So
we would die in a plague, terrible, awful plague. We couldn't.
What are we doing right now?
Well, if we clone a woolly mammoth and it's like brand new here, how would it bring diseases from thousands of years ago if the diseases aren't around anymore?
Yeah.
A lot of that shit stays frozen when it's, in the Arctic, in the cold.
Oh, yeah, but you're only taking it.
The scary thing about global warming is that the ice caps are melting, and the ice caps hold in these diseases from thousands of years ago, just holding them. And as the ice caps melt, these diseases get exposed to humanity.
Yeah.
But the sun is a deadly laser, and it will kill them.
Yeah, but you know what? We're putting a magnifying glass against that laser and making it worse.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say what my parents said and what their parents said. The next generation will.
Well,
all I'm saying is the next few decades might be pretty nuts.
Yeah.
We should be the generation leading the change. We should be starting it because all of our ancestors fucked it up for us,
But
like we don't get a head start or anything. We're in the middle of it. I really like how they.
I would argue that we're at the end of it, honestly.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that.
I mean, you have Team Trees and Team Seas. Like YouTube and all of these people are making this giant effort, but it doesn't feel like enough because everyone has to contribute and keep contributing forever. Like it doesn't matter how much trash you clean up, it's still gonna keep building up because we keep making this shit.
Yeah, islands.
We need to make like plastic that. We need to stop making plastic entirely. Actually,
did you know that California shut down its only nuclear power plant? And so as a result, all it has is coal power plants, and out like the LA area is experiencing a lot of frequent power outages because people need to charge their fucking Teslas, and they're burning a ton of coal to go ahead and try and keep the power on.
Oh, so Teslas are bad too.
They're just trying, well, not necessarily Teslas because there's a lot of different types of electric cars down there.
All electric cars are bad. Like, have you seen the lithium mines? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, fracking isn't good.
Fracking's actually not terrible. It's a lot worse to go ahead and burn coal than it is to go ahead and frack it. But
fracking still, contaminates the water supply. It gets into runoff. Like people drink from that.
But
shit.
It's way below the water supply.
Also, giant fucking holes in the ground.
I don't know. If gas cars and electric cars aren't good, how is anyone supposed to get around? Maybe we just have less cars in general, force everybody to carpool.
That's not gonna work out. That's what the carpool lane was invented for.
Well, I don't know, man. There's no
people have thought of these things, and they don't work because other people are stupid.
It's just the whole human race is butting heads,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because
Toyota's developing a car that runs on hydrogen.
Yeah, we need a car that runs off of fucking water.
Oh, you know what? I read somewhere that there's a moss. There's some kind of like green, like renewable substance that can run cars. Like I don't know why no one's doing it or putting in the technology for it. Because
Can I say something?
no.
Whack. Big whack.
Big whack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the environment's fucked no matter what we try to do, honestly. It would take, like, the entire world's effort to end what's happening, and it's not going to happen.
Not to mention, like, we as America, we're like 1/20th of the world's population, but we use a quarter of the entire world's resources.
Yeah.
That sucks.
But the thing is that we also are not the #1 polluter in the world.
China.
We're not the #1 manufacturer either. That's all China.
Well, it's all the human fucking race. Like, overfishing and shit like that. Kind of like, oh my god, there's so many different ways of like fishing. I don't know. I think the whole world is fucked. And the best way to do it is just leave it alone and have humans move out of the planet and leave the natural world alone. Let trees take over the planet.
Let it heal.
Mars. I don't know. Who cares?
It's
don't
really
know.
hard to get.
What was
It
it?
would cost-
It was, some fucking one of the planets. I think it was like Venus or something like that, where there is a layer of the atmosphere that is habitable to humans. Like it has oxygen and it has hydrogen and all the stuff that we need to. It has carbon and everything we need to survive. You know, but the only way we would be able to do it, it's one of the layers of the atmosphere of some planet. I forget exactly which planet. But we would have to build like cities that are up in the sky, and we would have to like live in the atmosphere of this planet.
Like Cloud City from Star Wars.
Yeah,
That's-
kind of. I don't know. I've never seen Star Wars.
You've never seen Empire Strikes Back?
Nope.
Yeah.
What?
You've never seen the Jedi Strikes First? It's not about you.
I have seen The Last Jedi, and that's it.
Yeah,
That is trash.
that's the one I seen first.
That is trash. That was probably the worst movie and the worst Star Wars movie in my opinion.
Damn. Well, that was the first one I watched, and I have not watched any of the others because that one was trash.
Makes sense because that one was trash. It was the worst. I'm sorry that you had to watch that shit. That fucking
I watched it in theaters.
that's filth. What you have to watch is prequels.
I think the OG, like, the OG 6 movies
Yeah.
are the best. You know, and I really liked Rogue One. So that's the exception, because Rogue One technically takes place before, you know, the Death Star.
Yeah, so Solo.
But you know what? I also really like The Mandalorian. Mandalorian was funny as fuck. But I don't know. And I didn't like the cartoons.
Have you seen the second and third season of Mandalorian?
Blake really liked cartoons for Star Wars. I only seen season 1 of The Mandalorian. Yeah.
They watch.
Freaking more out. I'm excited for that. I don't care what the response is. I'm gonna like it.
I like Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty is cool.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for season 6 today.
Honestly, like they could do anything with the show, and I wouldn't care. They can make a whole episode with just entirely new characters I've never seen before, and I wouldn't care.
Yeah. It's strange how they turned Rick into a god in like the newer seasons.
Really, they take away his power a lot, and as soon as they do, he becomes a pussy every time. like the one where Morty had to go back and forth through time to get the wine, and then finally with like Mr. Nimbus,
Yeah.
and then finally at the end when Rick's okay, I'm gonna be God, I'm gonna take care of this, and with one blast they just take away all of his shit and he's fucking naked. He's like, okay, time to run. And, or like in the newest, I just read a comic book, a D&D themed fucking Rick and Morty comic book. And then it was as soon as Rick and Morty got into the dimension of D&D, Rick freaked the fuck out because he realized he doesn't have power there, and he met the actual dungeon master who's literal god and can do anything. And like he tried to run away with his portal gun, and it said something like oh my god, I run away from anything I can't control. And that's just the perfect description for Rick. He has to be in control. He has to be a god, or else he's out.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, perfect description for Rick. Oh my god, Roscoe will not shut the fuck up.
We got a bird singing tonight.
Oh yeah, special guest Roscoe.
Yeah. Roscoe's here singing us some happy tunes.
Hello.
Hi.
Kill myself.
Jeez.
Hey, Bob.
So, if aliens came to Earth and they didn't want to destroy the world, what would they do?
They fuck a lot of humans, and a lot of humans would fuck a lot of aliens, and then we'd have a bunch of interracial, galactic species born.
Oh no, I don't want tentacle porn.
What was that one movie that we watched, Daxter, where the aliens came to Earth and all that he wanted to do was play music?
Was it the
Your mic cut out.
history, the folk history of it was like the folk history something. I forgot what it was called, but it was a good movie. Like,
Yeah.
I really like the idea of aliens coming to Earth and just liking the place and not wanting to just kill everybody, so they just like ingrain themselves in society. When they would do that, they would probably make porn. You're right.
Yeah.
But like imagine just like going to like any place at all, and like there's an alien working there, and he's like he's got like blue skin. His eyes are on the side of his face, and they were like,
there's gonna be like racism immediately.
oh yeah, the human race would definitely be racist against
It wouldn't
aliens.
be racist, it would be specious, because it would be of a different species.
That's fucked, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we would
Well,
have.
then why do we call it the human race if it's the human species?
I mean, we would be able to like share technology with them, and then like be able to figure out how they travel from planet to planet, so we could travel from planet to planet, or communicate. Or maybe they could show us if there's other aliens we communicate.
And then
with, like,
Big Dick America's gonna try to go around and fucking conquer the entire galaxy.
Best of the
I really
galaxy.
hope not. I really hope we just kind of like chill out with them. It exists.
I doubt it.
Oh yeah, no, there's no way that we would go ahead and
There's
get into
going to be wars, 100%.
Yeah, but like if they went and showed up tomorrow, there's no way we would want to get into a fucking fist fight with them. Like we would lose instantly. They're the ones who got to us.
But if we could just communicate to them through planetary travel, no. What if we could just communicate to them without leaving our planet?
Travel.
No. What if we just like send radio signals to them and send messages and communicate to them?
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and have a pen pal with intergalactic?
Would that be a threat
Alien.
to humanity if we have a pen pal with an alien?
Like, how's your day, man? Like, oh man, I just went and rode the Zorpazorp. Like, what's a Zorpazorp?
They could tell us about how their bodies function. They could tell us about how their planet works, what elements they have, we could fill out our chart. We could figure out more about the known universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, but we have nothing to fucking hear from.
There's no way we're sending radio signals to the next solar system.
What if the human race really is the only species in the whole universe?
There's no fucking way, dude.
But if it is
so much shit out there, there's no way.
What if the seed for the rest of aliens for the rest of all time for like the universe? Like as soon as humans leave the planet, we become the aliens. Maybe.
You know what? I was thinking about it. Like, one of the humans actually go off and do evolve further away from the sun, we'd probably go and like eventually all intermingle so much that we're all related, and so we'll all have the same skin color. We'll all be like gray or something, and eventually we'd all probably have to evolve to depend on technology so much that we'd be so frail. We'd probably wind up, as humans evolve, may end up looking something close to like the gray traditional alien that we think of because of our dependence on technology. And figure evolve to the point where we'd go ahead and procreate through sort
the
of
metaverse.
And sex is totally taboo. We'd eventually evolve to not have sexual organs. And so we'd all be one gender. We'd all be the same. And so, theoretically, you'd have this race that is codependent on technology that would never have sex, and would have sex through, plugging in kind of like the Avatar, but with technology.
So, we're evolving alongside every other species on Earth, right? What species is next to be sentient and start wanting rights from us?
Dogs.
Definitely not fucking cats.
I don't think it would be dogs, because we've inbred dogs so much that they're getting stupider and smaller. If we kept wolves and we had more wolves and they would evolve naturally like that, I bet wolves would evolve to do something like that.
Well, I think what is holding them back really is the fact that there's a communication barrier, and if technology were to go ahead and find a way to in the movie Up, how Doug has that collar that allows him to talk and understand what humans are saying. So if you were to go ahead and make that norm for animals to be able to go ahead and communicate with each other and with humans, that'd be cool. The first go would probably be a house animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, cats maybe. I feel like cats could become sentient pretty easily. But my science teacher used to think that after humans are gone, plants would take over the world. And I strongly believe that, because a whole forest is interconnected by the roots underground. Every tree is connected underground by their roots. The whole forest is this giant, a bunch of cells communicate like a body, a giant, like a mother single celled. It's crazy, right? And they send electrical signals through the fungus to communicate with each other, and then they could send resources to their children. And then plants, they figured out that trees know what seed and what sapling is theirs, and they would send more carbon and more stuff to it to go. And they know when a plant is getting when a tree's getting hurt, and they'll send its leftover carbon to the rest of the tree so the way they could use it before it dies. And some trees will communicate with each other and let them know when one's being hurt, and they'll put up defensive maneuvers and shit. Trees have the plants have the most time to evolve on this planet, and they live longer than us. They obviously have something down right.
They're just super resilient, is the thing. Plants. See, whenever humans go, and like if they do not annihilate all plant life before then yeah, plants will more than likely go ahead and reclaim after humans leave planet Earth, and we will leave eventually, whether we kill ourselves and everything else on it, or if we go ahead and make the jump somewhere else, which I hope we do within the next 100 years.
I doubt it would be in our lifetime if that happens at all.
If it, yeah.
What, they're sending like a spaceship to the next solar system over to the planet that's roughly in the same area that Earth is from the sun, well, from that star, whatever that star is, and it's barely gonna make it there in our lifetime. It's gonna be there in like 60 something.
Oh, that's cool. 40 years from now, we'll get to see that.
So in 40 years, whenever we're old and gray,
we will be able to see if there is other life form on a planet that is in the same area in the next solar system.
Even if it's a organism, that's a fucking alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is not from Earth. Like, that would be proof that life can evolve on other planets. And imagine if we are just like early civilization of like actual aliens, and like you see in movies like of aliens going to like different planets and whatnot. What if we are the aliens, but
we just forgot?
Well, no, we haven't gotten.
We're early.
That. Yeah, we're just early.
Hmm.
Because the other planet.
I mean, that is a strong possibility.
When you look at a different planet far away, light takes a really long time to hit that place. So when you're looking at a planet really far away, it's like years and years in the past, like time travel. So maybe if there are aliens on Earth, we just can't. If there are aliens anywhere else, we just can't see them because we're looking into the past.
Yeah, because in time you would be looking so far down. In the observable universe, you'd be looking so far into the past that you would be able to see biblical times.
Like, what if all the aliens are looking at us and they don't see us? They just see
they see fucking Jesus.
See, that's why we said fuck it and we just sent a fucking like rover over to the next solar system, because we wouldn't be able to fucking see it.
Oh yeah, on a good note from what we said in the past, they are developing microbes, single-celled organisms that eat plastic to help with the plastic problem.
Yeah, I saw about that. So that's good.
Am I the only one who feels like that's gonna backfire somehow?
I mean, it might.
They could evolve and eat flesh.
Yeah. Or like, you know how humans have like microplastics in their system because of all the food that has microplastics in it? If you accidentally consume some of those microbes and then they get into your bloodstream and start like infesting you and eating the plastic out of your bloodstream.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Possible. I mean, you want to know something that's really bad that I didn't know until a few weeks ago?
What?
Your eyes have a different
I told you this.
Eli told me this.
So your eyes have a different immune system than the rest of your body.
Yeah.
And if the rest of your body finds out about your eyes, you'll go blind.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It's like, whoa.
Oh no.
Did you want this?
No. Anything cool in Ohio?
Not a fucking thing.
Damn.
Not a goddamn thing.
we were up playing Magic at Commander Night yesterday. We met these two people who had these really cool decks. One of them, she had a commander that wasn't legendary and it was silver bordered, but we played anyways because it was cool. And it was a squirrel deck that generated a mass amount of squirrels and made them super big and beefy. And the guy that she was with had this deck that was anything you could do, I could do better deck. It was like a copy tokens deck, and he just copied squirrels and made better squirrels. And he also made like flying, like 80 flying snakes. My decks didn't do very well, but it was cool to see what could happen.
One at all.
It makes me really want to build a deck around the silver bordered theme.
I say my deck didn't perform at all, but I won one of the 2 games. Okay, I only barely won that game. If I didn't take that extra 10 damage to draw the extra 10 cards, I wouldn't have won. It would have been one of them, too.
So what was your first interaction with Magic the Gathering?
Mine?
Like both of you. What was your what made you
Bro, you were there.
like any other input with it before that?
No.
Okay.
I'd always I heard about it and I wanted to learn how to play it, but I never actually tried.
So this was a long time ago. When I was, I gotta say about 12 years old. The Gathering video game on Xbox, Duels of Planeswalkers was a thing, right? And I still have that on my Xbox, and I play it every now and again still.
Mm-hmm.
But it's modern, and it's with the core set 2010 2 Shards of Allura cards, and my dad introduced it to me, and me and my dad always have a strange relationship, and we never really talked. So I was always trying to go ahead and have a relationship with my dad, because that's what I wanted with my dad for a really long time. And so I'd play that. I'd play Duels of Planeswalkers with him, and so eventually, my dad married my current stepmom, and she had a son, my older brother Caleb, and he told my dad about the physical actual paper Magic, and he was like, "Oh, that's really cool! It's actually a card game." So he bought me, my dad went out and bought a set, a bunch of booster packs for me and him to go ahead and make decks out. So, they were, the sets were Dark Ascension, through, Avison, whatever it was. I can forget that set name. But original Innistrad, essentially. And, I went and built my first deck. It was a black and white deck, and the 2 main creatures that I primarily built the deck around was a Angelic Overseer, which was where Angel, whenever another human entity is on the battlefield, it has Indestructible and Hexproof, no biggie. But the other one, which was black, was Machaos the Unhallowed. That mythic I ever pulled was Machaos the Unhallowed.
So, my first interaction with Magic was with my old stepdad, and, well, he always had these, cards, and I would see, the old mana cards, and just, look at it in awe. Oh, this looks so cool, you know? I used to collect Pokemon cards, so, Magic didn't feel too different for me. And after I lost my Pokemon cards and gave up on Pokemon, Brian always had these cards in this vase high up where I couldn't reach, and it was this glass vase, and they were just thrown in there he didn't fucking care, and I was just stare at them. And one time we went camping, and he was with his friend, and he was trying to teach me how to play Magic. So my first interaction, I completely forgot what I was even playing, but like I learned how to like tap the mana, and that's all I kind of remembered. But like years down the road, after Brian leaves, he gives me all of his magic cards, and I still don't know how to play this game. But I keep staring at these things, and I keep them underneath my bed in the box for the longest time because I really want to learn, and I like the pictures. So I go out and I buy my first deck, like this. It's like this dual decks black. I had like a black and green deck that was like big green creatures in life gain, and then I had this other blue deck that I just jumbled together, and I would let Billy play with the blue deck, and I would play with the real deck. And Billy would get so fucking pissed at me that I would beat him every time because he doesn't have a real deck yet. And we were playing wrong. We thought if your creatures were tapped, you could still block with them because who we didn't know how to play. So like eventually, this became terrible because I would attack Billy, and they would attack me back, and I would just like block with this big ass creature I still have and kill him every time. So I would feel bad. But Billy doesn't play with me at all anymore. But I meet you, and then you start teaching me how to play. I get pissed off how to stack works because I think it's time travel. Like, dude, I just played this. Or I fucking played it. I just played it. You can't do it before I did. Right,
In response,
I hate so much when I first started playing. I thought you were cheating. Like, yeah. What do you mean? You doing this before I even played it? I just did it.
Before you cast your sorcery, I am going to go ahead and play this instant and shoot your guys. Like, what do you mean?
I have the graveyard. I don't get to untap my mana. That sucks. But I don't know. I really once you learn how to play this game and get like accustomed to the most complicated board game in the world, like, and figure out how to build your own decks. I just like, it's my favorite board game ever now. Like
100%.
There's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing that fucking compares to Magic the Gathering.
Oh, Eli, I bought a Kozilek.
You bought fucking Kozilek?
I bought a Kozilek.
Great.
I played the Ninja deck. With the Blightsteel Colossus.
Fun. Can't wait to fight that.
That deck, it's either gonna be really, really good or really, really bad. But me and Baxter went and did a 1v1 tournament on all of our decks, and he won all of the games.
Oh.
So his deck is better than mine. You can't bitch.
His decks are better than yours.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
That's right. Coin flip deck is all powerful.
Coin flip deck is sometimes powerful.
No one can beat RNG.
Definitely be RNG.
Not when RNGesus is on your side.
It's a secret. Don't tell anyone else. Watermelon.
Disposable.
Yeah. For free.
Dude, what time did we start this?
I don't even know. Let me check. Let me check how far we are into the recording here. We're about an hour in.
Okay. What else should we talk about?
How did we do last podcast?
I did not look at it.
Eli, what was your character idea for the D&D session coming up?
My character is an Illithid wizard. So he's like an octopus man, and he's a wizard. I don't. Does Blake want us to like draw our characters? Because I'm not an artist. So like.
Yeah. I don't know this either.
I do want to see.
Do you have to choose from the roster of species that he put on there?
Yeah. It has to be one of the species that is in the world.
octopus person.
Yeah, I find it bullshit that I can't be a kobold.
Blake doesn't want
I get-
goblins in his campaign.
Eli, I have a question.
But
You wanna help me fill up my character sheet later? Because I forgot.
You didn't fill out your character sheet yet, but you have a picture drawn of him.
Yeah,
to be fair, I didn't do either of that yet, so...
personality comes first.
Okay.
But my boy, I named him Cornelius Pineling. I like the idea that you call him Pineling, even though he's giant.
My
He will
guy's
stand-
name is just Pain.
Pain. Your boy's gonna stand 10 feet tall. He's gonna be 26 years old, and he's gonna be fucking brain dead.
Wow.
Hopefully not too, but like, he's gonna have good strength. I imagine him to be like the tank of the group. He's gonna be a monk, so he kind of just spends his days meditating, and he's kind of just wandering the land, trying to do good by nature and find a new place to root. You know, because like trees don't have very complex thoughts. He's just like, that's bad. That's good.
I want to name my guy's gotta be a cat folk. So like a Khajiit. And he's gonna be raised by goblins, but taken into slavery. It's that way his name is Kip Yip.
Yip yip.
Yip Yip.
Are Khajiits in... Are those
Yeah.
one of the races that Blake said are good?
Yeah. Yeah, he said that race was good.
Alright.
But he Kip Yip, so he said that he can work goblins raising me into the story.
Treant stores...
Are there goblins in this campaign?
Probably not.
No.
When you start.
No, but I was born on a different island.
Okay.
Oh yeah. The bobcat-like catfolk.
Yeah. So, I'd be a kitty cat. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna use you as a cat post.
Oh no. I drew one picture of Cornelius, and he had like a carving in his arm, because I like the idea of like while he's meditating, people can't distinguish him from a tree or not, or like a living thing. So like
so they
like
just
so,
carve into his arm.
exactly. So there's like a heart in his arm.
Of like some random people.
Just some random people.
Some random initials. People ask him all the time, hey, who's that? I don't know, some people birthed that shit into my head whenever I was meditating.
It's like pigeon message.
I haven't told Blake yet, but my character is chaotic evil. Like,
Uh-oh.
My guy
out.
is chaotic good, because he's gonna know right from wrong, but he's kind of just gonna do whatever very violently, whatever the way he knows how is how what he's gonna do.
I'm
Yes,
glad
he's
you
big.
came out.
I like the idea he's never gonna go into any buildings. He has to sit outside and wait because he's too tall to go into the door.
She's an ant, right?
He's a tree ant, yeah.
Yeah, an ant. Oh man, like that's gotta be cool. But my guy's probably gonna be chaotic neutral, since raised by goblins just be chaotic.
Everyone's gonna be chaotic in this campaign.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. Not one person is gonna be within reason.
You can't reason with a tree. Apparently, during different times of weather, his mood changes. So during a certain kind of weather, he's going to be irritable and moody. What are you going to do when a tree has a temper tantrum?
Oh god. Oh, my guy, he's been on his own for his entire life, and he's kind of just like does whatever it takes to survive. So that's like where he gets his chaotic evil from. He does whatever, and anything he can get paid to do, he'll do it.
My guy raised by goblins doesn't really know shit, doesn't really do shit. just.
I mean, yeah, he was
kind
raised by goblins, so
So
he was like a
very,
house
like-
cat for goblins for the longest time.
yeah.
Where are my pets?
So he's gonna have like a really interesting look to him.
My
Kind of tattooed, but I also want him to have like goggles on with like satchels and like a little bit of armor, but most of it's just gonna be like tattooed clothes. It's just like falling off of him.
So the tree ants, while he's young, his armor class is locked as 13. If I were an older tree ant, my armor class would be locked in 16. I can't wear armor because I have a weird body shape.
'Cause you're a
But
tree.
I'm a tree. But I could use weapons. It says I could use weapons. I don't have to just use my hands.
Okay.
You know, we're a bunch of stoners. We can't go ahead and have the campaign start in about a tavern. We're gonna have to like meet out back.
Have it start in the hippie hut.
Your boy, a nest of some birds that he keeps in his branches. He protects them and gives them all names.
Just be like,
Yeah, alright, thank you guys for coming back to the Heck Shid podcast. If anyone's actually coming back, I don't know. Also, I haven't checked the comments, but OMGX Lyrical, if you want that brick of shit, just comment. Okay? We should probably say that earlier in the podcast, because he probably, like, clicks out after the first 2 seconds.
I don't know, this sci-fi episode, I feel like we did pretty good.
Yeah, this is an alright episode.
All-
Anyways, if you have any suggestions for topics you want us to talk about, leave them down in the comment section down below. Yeah,
Goodbye.
we'll see you guys next time.